Hello guys, welcome to Crazy Warfare Machines, where we focus on modern combat and military machines. Today I'll be informing you about the T-64 super tank. The tank on its prime days was much superior to its counterparts. It even challenged the NATO tanks since it was much faster, smaller and had an autogun reloader. This year we said no wasting time. So let's jump into the video. Introduction and background. The T-64 is a Soviet tank manufactured in Kharkiv, and designed by Alexander Morozov. The tank was introduced in the early 1960s. It was a more advanced to its counterpart the T-62. The T-64 served in tank divisions, while the T-62 supported infantry in motorized rifle divisions. The advancement included features like composite armor, a compact engine and transmission, and a smoothbore 125mm gun equipped with an autoloader to allow the crew to be reduced to 3 so the tank could be smaller and lighter. This meant there was no need for an additional personnel for loading. The tank was faster due to reduced weight unlike the previous versions. In spite of being armed and armored like a heavy tank, the T-64 weighed only 38 tons. Soviet military planners considered the T-64 the first of the third-generation tanks. It was highly ranked during those days. This advancement to the T-64 made it expensive to build, significantly more than previous generations of Soviet tanks. This was especially true of the power pack, which was time-consuming to build and cost twice as much as more than previous designs. Several proposals were made to improve the T-64 with new engines, but chief designer Morozov's political power in Moscow kept the design in production in spite of any concerns about price. However, an emergency design, the T-72, was designed that would come into play in the event of a war occurrence. This new design was to be cheaper by almost 50%. Despite the plans, it was later produced since the government couldn't resist the reduced figures. More about the autoloader and the stabilized gun head. So, the main gun is a 125mm smoothbore. The gun is fed from a dual carousel autoloader located on the hull floor that picks up both shell and powder charge. The gun is stabilized so the tank can shoot accurately while moving. Consider the demonstration on this video of how a stabilized gun works.
It demonstrates the tank gun stabilization system of the modernized T-64. The tank moves, turns, and the beer glass remains in place. This means that the stabilization system in our tanks is no worse than those in the foreign models.
Rate of fire is 5 to 8 rounds per minute, but there have been doubts cast on the reliability of the autoloading mechanism. T-64 production came to an end in 1981. At the end of 1988, the T-64 was in service only with Soviet troops inside the Soviet Union and units assigned to Soviet forces in East Germany. Other features of the tank included, the T-64A has a modified gun sight, smoke mortars on the front of the turret, and side skirt armor attaching to points along the fenders. The T-64B is equipped to fire the AT-8 Songster anti-tank guided missile. The infrared, white light searchlight is on the left side of the main gun rather than the right. As with the T-72, and 2 or 3 rectangular ammunition boxes are mounted on the left side of the turret. These boxes hold ammunition bells for the 12.7mm DSHKM machine gun mounted ahead of the commander's cupola. The T-64 always carries its long snorkel tube fastened to a rack on the turret bustle when in the field. A bonus information for you, my people. The T-64 has a hydraulic mechanical suspension system rather than the usual torsion bar suspension, and it is powered by a 5-cylinder diesel engine. The T-64's hull is divided into 3 compartments: driving in the front, fighting in the center, and the engine in the rear. The crew members are arranged in the T-64 in a slightly different manner than is usual in Soviet tanks. The driver remains in the front of the hull in the center. However, since the T-64 uses an auto-loading mechanism for the main gun, the commander and gunner are seated differently in the turret, the commander to the right, the gunner to the left. The auto-loading mechanism eliminates the need for a loader. That was all about this video. Leave your views on the comment section on what you think on this video. Stay tuned for the next video. Bye.